Hello viewers, here is a vintage Westinghouse air conditioner. I think this is the first really vintage air conditioner that I've featured on the channel. As much as I find air conditioners absolutely fascinating pieces of equipment, they're not something I intentionally go around and acquire because I just don't have anywhere to put them. Unlike relatively small telephones and miscellaneous fans, which I can stash away into every nook and cranny of the house, I just don't have anywhere to put air conditioners. And so until I get a bigger shop, which is in the works, I don't intentionally go around and buy them. However, there is one condition where I will acquire them, and that is if they're sitting out in the trash. That was the case with this one. I drove by this air conditioner when I went out to lunch at work, and I saw it from the side, and I thought, oh, it's just a modern Chinese piece of garbage, because it was in a pile of other stuff that somebody was tossing out. And then I drove by it again. I said, you know what, I better stop, make sure it's not something vintage. So I took a look at the thing closer up, and I saw the metal fan inside, and I saw Westinghouse on the tag, and no sooner did I see that was it in the car. So this is, I imagine, a 5,000 BTU unit. Actually, there's no point in guessing. We can take a look at the information and find out for sure. Yeah, I ain't reading. I gotta get a flashlight. Excuse the flicking on the image for the moment while I have the flashlight on. This is model AC051M7Q7. It's 10.25 ounces of R22. Rated for 115 volts, 7.5 amps, 840 watts. It is in fact 5,000 BTU. And the serial number is AL, and it looks like the Roman numeral 2, 553456. Now I believe there's a date code hidden in there somewhere. I just don't know how to read it, so perhaps somebody can crack the code for me. So obviously it's very dirty and it's not in good condition. This was in a pile of scrap metal gutters, and I did find the front panel, which is by some miracle in relatively good condition. I had to dig through the entire pile of scrap gutters to find this. This is like nowhere near the air conditioner for whatever reason, and obviously this needs to be cleaned, but there's really only a couple of broken slats. It's in quite remarkable condition considering where it came from. Now, the unit itself is very dirty, so I'm going to go ahead and vacuum it before I even try to plug it in, because I don't want junk to fly out. Interestingly enough, the cord is in really good condition. A lot of times these get the molded plug disease after they've been used for a while, and this one doesn't have any signs of that whatsoever. So I have my suspicions that this is a very low hour machine. Also, if you look at the coils, there's really no amount of dust or anything accumulated aside from small bits at the bottom. So that would be another indicator that this was not used very often. Let's see if we can take a look. It's got a humongous fan motor in there, and I'd be willing to guess this has a reciprocating compressor. There's the fan motor, and I'll spin it around so we can get a look at the compressor on the other side. Oh gee, look at that. Okay, maybe I was wrong about this being a low hour machine. That is stuffed up in there. Yeah, we definitely got to get that vacuumed up before I even think of starting this thing up. Condenser's not too bad, honestly. You know, a couple of things we gotta straighten out here, but considering it was tossed out, not bad. There's some dents up there from where the gutters were sitting on it. Spin it around to the other side so we can get a look at the compressor. there's the compressor. It's huge, of course, as all of these machines were. It's very close to the edge. It's probably less than a quarter of an inch in between the compressor and the guard there. But anyways, I'm going to do some vacuuming, get all the junk off the top, and I'll slide it out of the chassis, and then do some more cleaning, and then we can give it a test. The only thing I don't have for it, and this is a huge disappointment, I don't have the control panel backing or the dials. Now this thermostat is not clicking. I'm not sure if that's because it's too cold down here. It's only 64 degrees, so maybe it's just too cold, or it's broken. Let's see here, I got this dial. We can try to jam on this. Okay, that's turning. It's only going 2 positions. Oh, 3 positions, 4 positions. Alright, so it's probably just a 2-speed, 2-speed fan, 2-speed compressor fan. I don't know what this is. That came out of there. That doesn't seem like it's working. Anyways, I'm going to get to do some cleaning here, and then I'll be back on the video. Okay, so it's a little bit cleaner now. Let's see if we can get it open. Not exactly sure how this comes apart. I'm going to start with the controls, because I have a suspicion that somewhere in here there's some kind of undesirable nest or something, some kind of an animal dwelling in here. This was outside for a while, I think. So I'm kind of ready for just about anything to happen. I was actually a little nervous about having this in the car and wondering what in the world is going to come out of it and then cause a freak show in the car or something. Okay, that looks alright. Nothing too horrible in there. I'll go ahead and vacuum that out now. There's a lot of reasons these units last a lot longer than the ones we have today. But one of the main reasons is these capacitors. Look at that thing. And this is only at 5,000. So I think some of this wiring could fare to be redone. These wires are all kind of hard and crusty. And so before I put this in service, which is not anytime soon, I don't really have an immediate use for it, but when I do put this in service, I'm going to rewire everything because this wiring is probably cresting 50 years old, if not more, and I just don't really trust the insulation on the wires anymore. Let's get this back into place here. And then I'll try taking something else off and see if I can get into the back of it. I'm not sure what kind of side panels these are. They don't appear to be the accordion type. It's like some kind of plastic. Well, I think this is going to be very difficult to take apart. Well, I'm just going to start unscrewing things, and we'll see where that gets us. Alright, I think we're almost ready to take this off. See a couple more screws right here. There's a lot of screws on this thing. Alright, I think... Oh, look at that mess. I think we're ready to go here. Nope, not quite. It's still being held on this side by the plug. Not the plug, the electrical cord. Oh no, it's not. It's just a little stiff. Alright. I'm going to pull it off with it in this orientation because I want to keep as much of the mess contained as possible. Alright, I'm going to vacuum this off right away. And I realize I'm vacuuming off a lot of the insulation. Unfortunately, because of its age, just for reasons of health and safety, this should all be replaced anyways. So I'm not really trying to preserve that. So this part is relatively clean now. Set this aside the best I can. Again, we're running into an issue of space already in this room. So taking a look inside, it's absolutely disgusting inside, which is not in the least surprising, and I'm glad I didn't turn this on because there's all leaves in the fan. Let's see here. Still moisture in here. This is out in the rain. I'm going to do some more vacuuming here. Spin this around so you can get a good look at it. Whoops, the condenser is moving. Try to clean it off a bit so we can read what's on there, but you can see all the junk that's in here. So I'm going to go ahead and clean all that out. Take a look in there. You can see there's all stuff on the bottom, which is be a mess if I just turned it on. So do some more cleaning and then we'll be back. Alright, so the next, or actually the last thing I want to do before testing is I want to get this cover off the condenser so I can clear that out, just so that this has a chance of working, because right now I don't really think that it does. I don't want to remove this in its entirety because I believe that will require taking the fan blade off. I just want to remove it enough to be able to stick the vacuum hose in there and clean it out. So now that I'm looking at it closer up, I think it's just one side that's really bad. Yeah, it's actually just that one side that's bad by the compressor. Well, that didn't work. These clips are just deteriorated from the heat. That just broke off without even applying any pressure to it. It just snapped. This one looks a little bit more sturdy, but it's got to come off too. And this here is why you should pull this thing out of the window every year and clean it, because once that happens, you don't get any more cold air. I saw some bugs in there, so let's get that cleaned out as soon as we can. Alright, that's still a far ways from what it needs to be for my likings, but it will give this unit a fair chance to work and prove itself worth restoring at least. So that removed, I'm going to get this back into place, and we're going to attempt to power it up. I think the motor bearings are a little bit dry, and to my surprise the fan, actually on both sides, is plastic. I was not expecting that. Anyways, let me just get this screwed back in here so it doesn't go haywire when I turn the fans on. I really hope this thing still works. It looks like it should. The only thing that's a little concerning to me is the way that the paint is on the case. It almost looks like somebody painted the house with it installed, and the paint does not go very far back into the unit, which means this might have been one of those cases where it was installed in a very thick wall and it kind of blocked the condenser intake, and that really jacks up the thing if it ran like that. But we're going to hope that's not the case. This is still getting caught on something here. Can't tell if it's getting caught on the... Well, I'll figure that out and then I'll get it going.